Good evening, listeners, and oh wait, what time?
Okay.
Good evening, listeners, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Fear the
Fear
Queer.
the Queer, a podcast that talks about everything on our gay agendas. I am Kyle.
And I am Josh.
And we are
back.
Yes. After some fear of technology issues, we have gotten over the hump and are continuing in our quarantine, social distancing, but we're going to keep recording. We're going to keep producing. So we're giving the children what they don't want, which is more episodes.
I was like, their daily dose of things they do not need.
Yes. And on today's episode, we have skincare aficionado and reality TV connoisseur, our friend, Ms.
Jill
Jill
Konkel.
Konkel.
Hello, my darling chickadees. Thank you so much.
Hi, Mama Hen.
Long-time listener, second-time caller. Thank you so much for having me back. I'm so excited.
Yes,
of course. We're very excited.
Back. Yes. Okay.
On today's episode, we're going to start talking about RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars Season 5, because that was just announced last Friday. But before we do that, what are you all drinking tonight?
I would say I am drinking alcohol, but I would be flat out lying. So I am just drinking an ice cold water to keep it nice and fresh tonight.
Oh, hydrated. Okay.
Yes.
I am on what started as a sober couple weeks. I'm almost going on the 3rd month of being sobes. So
oh my gosh.
I know, it's crazy. And I am just enjoying a coffee from Califia Farms. I actually feel bad because I remember years ago when I found out about Califia Farms, I told Josh, I was like, I found this new iced coffee prepackaged at the grocery store, and it's dairy-free, very minimal added sugar, and only 100 calories. You have to try it. Not realizing it was almond milk, and Josh has an allergy, so I'm trash.
That was her
trying to get rid of him.
I was like, that was her subtle way to be like, kill yourself.
She's like, this is really good. You should drink it all.
Yeah.
Talking it up, saying like, you have to check it out, and not even realizing what. But so I think of that whenever I purchase one of these at Whole Foods. But
you almost murdered me.
Yes, exactly.
This coffee reminds me of Josh when he went into anaphylactic shock. Ooh, delicious.
I was so happy.
So was Jill.
It's part of my master plan of Califia Farms and killing Josh.
Right. 2 birds, 1 stone.
Now available on iTunes.
Exactly.
I'm just drinking iced coffee. I mean, it's not fancy iced coffee. I've been doing this thing in quarantine where I make coffee in the morning. I sound like I'm going to be a pour right now. I'm a pour. But I make coffee in the morning, I drink a few cups, and then by the time I try to finish it, because I make like 8 cups, it's sort of cold. So I just throw some ice cubes in it, and I call it iced coffee. So
you drink 8 cups of coffee a day?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, that's like throughout the day. I mean, today I got up at like 5.
Me too.
I don't know, like a.m., not p.m.
Me too.
Well, it's not a race. It's
I'm just saying, but like, why are you waking up so early?
Oh, that's true, because I'm not working right now.
No, that's what I was gonna say. Like, girl, what are you doing?
You know, the heart wants what the heart wants, and it just wants coffee.
A whole 8 cups.
A whole 8 cups. Well, cheers, queers. Virtual
yes, cheers,
cheersing.
queers.
Cheers.
Clink, clink.
Clink, clink.
All right. But before we get into the heart of our gay agenda, we're going to do another segment of Read
My Rainbow. In which
And-
we talk about something happening in our queer little lives, and the others will read us for it. And since we are all quarantined, this might be the most dramatic Read My Rainbow to date.
Yes, exactly. Kyle, do you want to go first?
You know I love going first, because first is the worst. So, I've been in quarantine. It's pretty different than a lot of other people. I've been watching a lot of TV. I've been, trying to draw, buying a lot of stuff, online shopping. Tourist season has really taken over, and all I want to do is online shop, stay in my sweatpants, and eat a lot of food. But I'll be real, that's what I've been doing this entire quarantine. So I can't blame it on tourist season. So actually, I'm in recovery mode. The other day, I hadn't been to the grocery store in about a month.
Jesus.
Yeah, wow. Well, I went, when I go hard. I go with a list. I go with a plan. And I think, okay, I really got to load up. I don't want to keep coming out. I don't want to keep interacting with people. Mm-hmm. Which was similar to how I was even before quarantine. But
So you're used to it.
I'm used to it. I'm like, okay. Yeah, it's the only thing I've ever trained for. So I got tons of groceries. And everyone was great, got the masks on and the gloves, and everyone's like social distancing. It's all good. Okay. So I get home, and I live like 10 minutes away from my grocery store walking. Not a big deal. It's about half a mile. And I have a little granny cart, and I call it my granny cart because, one, you see a lot of grannies with it, and two, my granny gave it to me. Like, it's actually my granny cart. So I had 2 bags in the granny cart filled with like cans of beans, and I had like rice and frozen vegetable, like tons of stuff. And then I had 2 bags on one arm, and then 1 bag over my shoulder, of like crackers and pasta, and one had like toilet paper, and the whole thing. I'm not hoarding though. So I get to my apartment, and I'm sweating. I can barely breathe. It's the most I've worked out in a while. And I was like in months, but I was like, well, yeah. So I'm walking up the stairs, and decades. So I'm walking up the stairs, and I get to the top, and I'm lifting, and I think I started looking at the containers of things. And so I have like a 3-pound jar of peanut butter, and then each can is probably, half a pound or something. I don't know. So the cart was probably 50 pounds. So I'm like lugging it up to the 3rd floor. I get to the top. I pull my back muscle. Instantly, oh my God, I was in such pain.
So bad, yeah.
Oh my God, I was in such pain. And at first I was like, oh crap, I'm having a kidney stone. But then I was like, no, ma'am, it's not a kidney stone, it's a hernia. So then I Googled, I went to my bedroom, took some ibuprofen, and lied down, and I Google, do I have a hernia? Well, let me tell you, you don't want to look at those pictures. Luckily, I did not mistype it and write hemorrhoid, because that would have just that would have really opened the door.
Oh, I'm sure.
To quite a few images.
How you could mistype hernia to hemorrhoid.
I mean, I am the child who misspelled galaxy in my 8th grade spelling bee. I spelled it galaxy.
Oh, honey.
That is still not as bad as hemorrhoid.
I just imagine Google actually being like, no, you don't have a hernia, but yes, you do have hemorrhoid.
You do have a hemorrhoid. We've been watching. Yeah. So yeah, my Read My Rainbow is very dramatic. I pulled my back out, and it took me 3 days to recover, but each day was slowly but surely I start feeling better. And I'm doing so much that it was oh my God, I have to recuperate fast, obviously. So
there's so much to do.
Right. So much to do. I gotta go on my quarantine walks.
I was gonna say, do you think that was your grandma's plan just being like, you know what? Like, I bet you this bitch can't lift anything more than 50 pounds. Like,
Granny's tough. So she probably was like, you know what? Well, she probably was like, this is easy for Kyle. Well, I actually hadn't used the granny cart in a while because I would just kind of shop as I would, need it before quarantine. So really, this is the first time in a while that I've brought out the old cart. It's been great.
Did you remember to bring your life alert necklace? So that way things like this
help,
don't happen.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Help, I have hernias and hemorrhoids.
Help, I got the double H's. Which ironically, also my bra size.
Right.
Are you a double H? Girl.
On both ends, yes.
It's well endowed.
I'm a well-endowed hemorrhoid.
Oh my god.
How terrifying.
I think that's the one thing on your body you don't want well endowed.
A guy like messages you on Grindr is like, so you well hung down there? And you're like, my hemorrhoid is huge.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Oh yeah, my Read My Rainbow is honestly not that much better since nothing's going on. So
another hemorrhoid?
Yeah, I also have a hemorrhoid.
Right.
Oh Jesus.
No, so because I work still, I have to get up and get ready to go very early. So I also get up at 5 a.m, like you, Kyle. Mm-hmm. And because I live in Rogers Park and the hospital that I work at is a few neighborhoods away, so I have to call an Uber because I have no other way to get there. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, like, I take Uber very seriously because it has like all these perks that you get if you are a good like rider, if you leave them good tips.
Your score?
What?
What's your score?
Well, I'll get to that in just a second because that's my rainbow.
Okay, go on.
Tell us.
So it's 5:45 in the morning, and I'm trying to call an Uber, and of course it's during quarantine, so there's not going to be much going on. Mm-hmm. And this was yesterday morning, so the first driver that said that they could pick me up was already just 10 minutes away, and I'm just like, oh shit, I have to be there by 6:50, and hopefully this won't be too bad. So they get to about like 5 blocks away, and they cancel on me. And I'm just like, what? You were so close. Like, why would you cancel so quickly? And so Uber automatically then rerouted me with another person. And that person was 14 minutes away. And I was like,
God.
I was panicking at this point. I was like, oh shit, I'm going to be late to work. Which, I mean, at this point, it's like, well, I can't really do much about that. But it's like gay panic. You're just like, oh my God. And so finally, after 2 cancellations, because that driver also canceled on me too, finally someone picked me up. They got me to work, and of course the person that did pick me up is super fucking Miss Chatty Cathy. And again, this is 5:45 in the morning. I don't want to talk to anybody right now. And he's talking to me about like how much he lost his job and how he's been hustling and how, he just wants to make everyone feel happy and stuff like that. And I was humoring him. I was like, oh yeah, I totally understand. Like, good for you for keeping a positive attitude and everything. So he drops me off after this whole ordeal. I'm now like 20 minutes late to work. But I still I tipped him 20%. I rated him 5 stars. I thanked him very much for helping me during this pandemic. And then I look on my phone later, my rating dropped from that single ride.
Oh my God.
Why?
And I take my rating very seriously because my rating was 4.95 and it went down to a 4.94. I know that's like just 0.01%, but I was hurt by that.
Oh, I would be too. I'd be so upset.
Well, especially considering the fact that I went through the ringer. I got canceled on 3 times. I had to have this Chatty Cathy driver.
So you just wanted to be like, shut up and drive.
Just like, and then my rating went down. The audacity.
Yeah, the nerve.
I would feel bad for you, but I'm already like looks wise a 4, so I'm used to being a 4.94.
Was it before or after the hemorrhoids?
It's current. It's current. Baby got back.
So
well, that's
even
a shame though.
What'd you say?
I said, that's a shame.
I know. It's just like I know nothing's really going on, so I think that's also why it affects me even more. But it just hurt. It really did.
I would be bummed out too.
Yeah.
A low rating on Uber.
Well, what's your guys' rating?
I don't know. I should check.
I think we're the same, a 4.95.
Really? Well, no, actually, mine's a 4.94 now.
Right. So I'm currently at the leaderboard.
I was like, thanks for rubbing it in, Jill.
So, how do you see your thing? Oh no! I just saw mine.
What is it?
No, it's a 4.67.
Oh.
You're almost gonna get kicked off the app.
Like if you hit
Why
less
am I
than
so low?
All right, do you make them wait?
No.
Are you rude?
I'm never rude. You know,
do you talk about your hemorrhoids?
Never. Never. Unless they ask.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, I've only used Uber like 3 times in the past 5 years. So clearly those 3 times were not good.
Right. So I mean, that's a skewed average.
Okay.
Yeah, like I don't really use it. I use Lyft more often. I don't know what my rating is on Lyft. It could also be I'm not very chatty in Uber. I don't know. It just depends on the person, I think.
I learned, I was like, you know what? And I Googled this because it was eating me alive. This is like such a Midwestern conversation of being kind to the Uber driver. But I Googled it, and I was like, are Ubers offended by when you wear headphones in the car? And I read a Reddit thread of Uber drivers, and I'm like, no, they're like, headphones give me the cue of, okay, they don't want to talk, so I can just focus on driving and getting them to the destination. And it seemed like that was the consensus, that they all appreciated kind of having the headphones in. It's like, okay, I don't need to bother starting a conversation with you. So I do wear headphones pretty much every time I'm in the Uber just to send that signal. I did one time I had to go to Atlanta for work last year, and I was coming home at like 7 a.m. from the airport, and I had my headphones on, and the Uber driver was like, it literally said out loud, she looked in the rearview mirror and she goes, oh, she has her headphones on. Guess she doesn't want to talk to me.
Oh my God.
Literally. And I felt bad, and I was like, oh no, I want to talk to you, because I wear Beat headphones, or I did. Now I have AirPods, but I was like, oh no, I just keep them on to keep my ears warm. And she's like, well, it's a 23-minute ride, so you're my new best friend for the next 23 minutes.
And then she locks the doors, like speeds off.
Essentially, that's what happened. And so she told me about like her entire life. And I was like, I should have just kept the headphones on.
Oh, yeah.
You should have. You should have been like, screw you, lady. I don't understand that. This is not, you're paying them to drive you someplace. Right. This is not, they're not paying you for a 3 therapy session.
Right. But I'm sure no one else in other parts of the country care what their Uber rider score is or being kind to the Uber driver. But I think here, that's something that eats us alive.
I was going to say, I bet you anything like New Yorkers or LA, there's like, who the fuck cares? Like,
have you ever been in the car, though, with somebody and they're so mean to the rider and you're just internally screaming? Because I have.
I've been in there once, and I think you were actually in the same car with me, Jill. Do you remember that guy who yelled at us for rolling the windows down?
What?
So it was you, me, our friend Matt, and Jory, and we were all leaving for our other friend Sarah's house, and Jory ordered the ride, which I think she sat up front, and then we all sat in the back, and then Jory tried to roll the window down up front, and the guy turned her. He's like, "I have the air conditioning on. Do you not doing that?"
I remember that because I think first she asked, "Can you turn on the air?" and he didn't say anything. So she, okay, I guess I'll just roll down the window. And he was like, so do you want the air on or not? Or he said something really rude.
Yeah, it was something like that, and then we all just like got really quiet.
Like, okay. Yeah, I do remember that now.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm trying to remember when, because like Jill, who got the car when we did drag?
Oh, that was me.
Oh, okay, because Josh, I was,
It was.
in full Edelweiss
Mhm.
drag,
Mhm.
and my wig was really big, and I mean, I'm a big lady, and I went to go get in the front seat, and he wouldn't let me in the front seat.
He
Oh,
wouldn't.
really?
But like we
Oh
were
yeah,
drag. I was full blown Clint Eastwood. Matt was in drag. So it was, I mean, maybe a little bit jarring seeing us walking out, but he hated us from the jump. And
yeah.
he would not let Kyle sit in the front seat. And then so we all are in drag, crammed in the back seat of like this
Mhm.
Civic. And then when we leave, he basically I think he legitimately said, "Get out."
Yeah. Yeah. Like we pulled up to the location, which was a bar in Andersonville, and he was like, "Get out."
Yeah.
And we were like, "Oh, okay."
I
And then
gave one.
it was not good.
Yeah, I gave him 1 star, and I was really surprised because I have taken. My Uber sent me the stats over the past almost 10 years. I've taken over 1,400 Uber rides. So
Mhm.
Oh my God.
I know, isn't that insane? And
Jesus.
yeah, and I still wonder why I have student loan debt. But I I was really surprised that Uber didn't contact me and say like what happened, because I never rate ride or drivers below 5 stars ever.
Oh
Well,
yeah, I don't either. I usually will just give them 5 stars, even if they're kind of crappy. But
yeah,
like
but that I was like,
he
oh
was rude.
yeah,
Because like when I went, because I opened the door and was like, "Can I sit in the front?" And all he had on the front seat was a windbreaker, and he said no.
yeah.
And I was like,
Jesus.
it felt homophobic. I'm just
Oh, it
saying.
absolutely
I could be sensitive, but
was.
I felt hate crimed.
Yeah, it absolutely was. Totally.
But I mean, it was still a great night. It was still a lot of fun.
Um, well,
So Jill, what is your Read My Rainbow?
I guess
Yeah,
I'll
sorry, we got
share
caught up on Uber.
yeah, so triggered. It was funny because when we were discussing the episode and you told me, let's do a Read My Rainbow, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to talk about. And I guess I sent a signal out into the universe to create a shit show for me yesterday.
You love the drama.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm happy that they answered my call. So a little backstory: I work my side gig at a very popular sports arena here in the city, and at Wrigley Field, we'll just say that. So, and there was a kid so I bartend outside of the stadium, so I don't really know anybody inside of the stadium unless I make an actual effort to go inside, but I don't really know anybody who works inside the park. So him and I met last year at a bar, and this kid, and you guys both know this kid has pursued hardcore. He's a groundskeeper inside of the park, and hardcore. My boss at work knows about him. He would come out like every so often, like looking for me. He would ask coworkers where I was, but it was always like very strange because like whenever I'd see him in public, he'd be so nervous and just it was weird. Like he had this huge bravado over text, but in person was so socially awkward. It was
Okay.
almost like two different people. But like I've told you the stories over literally the past year that he has just pursued really hardcore. I finally went on a date with him back in December, and it was very strange. And and the restaurant we went to literally closed down a week later without warning. So again, another sign from the universe.
Yikes.
And
I've been to that Subway.
yeah, it was
Gave
actually
me the squirts after that tuna sub.
Oh my God.
So
Hence the hemorrhoids.
Yeah.
exactly. So he after the date he was like, oh, it was right around Christmas time, and he was like, oh, like let's get together, and I was like, okay, I'll be back in town in the next couple weeks, and I think he was like, oh well, she's rejecting me. So I'd hear from him every so often, but I was always like going on a vacation or something, and I never would respond. So he texted me a couple weeks ago and was like, hey, I walked by that restaurant we went to and I thought about you. Hope you're doing well, blah, blah, blah. So we were talking, and it was actually really normal because, I mean, he is better on text, but it's actually like, oh, okay, maybe he's not like the weirdo that I thought. And because in text, he's really nice, but then in person, he gets so socially awkward that it's kind of rude. So I had a really bad taste in my mouth about him, but I was like, okay, we'll throw the bone. So then after like a week of texting, he was like, I don't know like how you feel about social distancing, but like if you want to take a walk or something. And I was like, okay, sounds good. So he asked me on Saturday, he's like, do you want to get together? And I was like, well, I want to go because my mom works at a hospital here in the city. And I was like, I want to go. I want to drop off some Mother's Day gifts for her at her hospital. So I'll let you know. So he texted me later that night and he's like, oh, I guess like that's not happening. And this was a lie, but I said, I was like, oh yeah, I'm spending the day with my mom. Like I just didn't want to hang out.
Right.
So then he was like, okay, I'll text you at like 10 a.m. to like bother you and see what's up. I was like, okay, cool. And I didn't want him to text because I was like, oh, I have to figure out another excuse and I'll just look like a huge flake and whatever. And so he winds up never texting on Saturday. On Sunday. And so he winds up texting me at 1:49 yesterday. He goes, LMAO, that didn't work out apparently. And I responded, did you never wake up? He said, I woke up, but kind of late. Horniness not subsiding by any means. I've been watching these super hot, insane deep throat videos on Pornhub, though. So that's been interesting. And I was like, what?
Find my videos.
I was just like,
drop the link.
And that, well, yeah, but it's also like, if you want to talk that way, bitch, the clock is starting and I need your credit card info. Like, if you want to talk that way, the clock started. So I responded, LOL. Unless I really like the guy, no, I want something out of that kind of talk. So I said, LOL, well, enjoy that. And he wrote, do you not watch porn? I thought everyone watches porn. And I was like, what the hell? So I said, yes, I watch porn. IDK what you want me to say. And he said, I think I was looking for a, oh, really? Let me see. And I said, I think I was looking for a, sorry, I didn't text yesterday. And I just giggle. He goes, I'm working on that. And I responded, I'm sure. So he wrote, by the time I woke and got some work done and did the whole family call, it was like 5. I should have touched base at the very least. So sorry about that. It was a lapse in communication. And I was like, this is so dumb. And I just like want to put an end to this because like this kid is just stupid. And you guys both know what he looks like. And not to be rude, but he is not cute enough to act like this.
No,
Yeah.
That is a rule.
It's
if you're going to be rude,
true.
you better be drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah. So
What's your reasoning?
like seriously, if you're gonna be rude, you better be hot to back it up.
That's why I'm so nice.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Nice.
So I was like I didn't respond, and I was like on a walk yesterday, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna say something to this kid. So I wrote, I don't want to be an asshole who doesn't respond, but I'm not interested anymore. It's kind of a turnoff to just go rogue and then text what porn you're watching. I understand it's a hookup dynamic, but you can still talk to me like an actual person. He responds less than a minute later, fair.
It was fair.
It was fair. And I wrote, cool, take care. And he wrote, yeah, you too. And because I'm petty and need the last word, I just thumbs up the comment and then just blocked him. But what the hell?
You blocked him?
Yeah, my thoughts exactly.
Fuckboys are fuckboys. This guy, and you know I've said it before, he looks like a potato with a mustache.
A potato with a mustache.
A forgettable potato with a mustache. I just don't. And that's not to say that he is unattractive.
I was like, Mr. Potato Head is a great looking guy. Leave him alone.
Like, honestly, I'm a mustache apologist.
So
but
absolutely.
Yeah, but this guy, I think, I don't know, that's just like such fuckboy behavior. I don't like it when people it's just
I do love that
I
you
don't
go
know.
to the extra length of like making sure you have the last word, so you just like his last thing and then block him.
And then block him because you probably thumbs up him and he went to be like, oh, by the way, and you're like, block.
Yeah, seriously, block, bye, bitch. And it's like, you know what? This kid is just like so terribly insecure and weird, and but this is hardcore pursuing for a year, and then I get a fair.
Yeah.
Oh, girl. Like, and so yeah, that is my heterosexual read my rainbow. It's like Kyle posted today. Do you like men? No, but I'm attracted to them anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
And
it's such a mood.
Such a mood. And so that's my read my rainbow. And it's just like, how am I still dealing with drama in quarantine?
I mean, I envy you because like the Leo in me, and you get this, Jill, we want the drama.
Oh,
so
yeah.
like I'm like envious that you have some sort of drama. Like my drama literally is pulling my back muscle. Josh, you at least have drama because your Uber drivers hate you.
I'm getting hate crimed over here.
Yeah, this kid, I think he'll enjoy a long life alone, unfortunately.
Well, at least he still has all those deep throat videos that he can watch.
Yeah, with his mom on Mother's Day.
Exactly.
Right? That's the thing, too. It was Mother's Day, so, like, was he doing it with his mom?
Whatever brings you closer together.
It was his mom on the video.
Right. Oh. Like, honey, remember these videos? That's how you were conceived.
It's like how, like, everyone, like, posts pictures.
Education.
Yeah. People are, like, posting pictures of their moms, and they're like, my mom is so pretty. I love my mom. And he's like, my mom can deep throat a dick. Like,
oh my God. So that's what's going on in my world right now. But has anyone else, I've pretty much had every man I've gone on a date with anything reach out to me in quarantine.
I've had one.
Yeah.
Well, I take that back. I've had one that was a relationship, and I've had another that I went on a date with that occasionally will like message me. But it's nothing romantic. It's like, oh, look at this funny meme. Ha ha ha. And I'm like, we're never seeing each other again. Like, it's been a year.
Yeah.
You know what's weird is that, so I'm not sure if listeners know this or not, but I deleted my Snapchat about a year ago. And the other day I was just so bored out of my mind. I was just like, let me just make one really quick. But I couldn't remember what my old username was, so I just set up a new one. Mm-hmm. And I posted the announcement, I guess, I don't know why, on Instagram stories. And weirdly enough, there was a few guys that like we mutually follow each other, and they're like, oh, so you're just going to be wanting to send nudes to guys then? I'm just like, I was just like, oh shit, that's right. I guess that's what some people do with Snapchat. But I was like, I have a quarantine body. Like, I don't think anybody wants to see me naked right now.
Oh, please. You know what's so weird though? I like that. I'm like, oh, please.
You're just like, yeah.
But like, I guess people do use Snapchat for nudes. I was about to like make an argument against that logic, but I was like, no, that's yeah.
Oh, we do. And when I was dating my ex-boyfriend, when Snapchat first came out, we were kind of in a gray area. Like, we broke up a lot. That's why us talking on Skype is very nostalgic for me, because we broke up several times, and a couple of times I broke up with him over Skype. And,
on a conference call.
Exactly. And
we gathered you in this meeting today.
So
your performance is low.
That's why I was hoping when I logged in, I could find those old conversations and just like read through them, but I couldn't. But so we were in our gray area because we were broken up. We were on the course of getting back together, everything. And I guess he had a habit of going through my phone.
Oh.
and he approached me and he was like, "Why do you have Snapchat on your phone?" And I was like, "I don't know, like it's like a new app." And he was like, "That is solely to send nudes."
Oh.
And one of the times when we got into a big fight, one of his reasonings was because I downloaded Snapchat without asking him.
Oh my God. Bye.
Oh my God.
Bye.
Easy?
Without your permission? Who does he know who he's talking to?
You should have sent him a Snapchat saying we're broken up.
And on Snapchat. So I was
That's
like,
crazy.
So he must have just read that in some like boomer article of, oh, this new app is how we send nudes, and just assume that's what it was, and he freaked out. So yeah, people do have that perception about Snapchat.
Which is weird because I literally send photos of like unflattering like chin selfies of me eating like candy.
Right.
I just sent pictures of the food. Yeah, I was like, I just sent the pictures of the food that I'm eating. I made a quarantine cake for myself. I did that on Mother's Day. I was like, Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I'm making a cake for myself.
That sounds good.
Was it for your mom or was it for Ma? Starring Octavia Spencer.
It was for that classic film. And I will stand by that in 2019, that was my favorite movie I saw in theaters. And that tops Star Wars, and I'm a Star Wars fan, and The Lion King. Y'all know I'm a Leo. Ma beat them. I loved Ma. That movie slaps, as the kids say. And that's period, sis.
Just like your hemorrhoids.
Oh, wait, it slaps? No!
I can't.
Okay,
well,
I figured that like a good like transition moment for us.
Okay, so you'll be able to cut that.
Oh yeah. I can still edit it.
Oh, okay, cool. Then let's get started in All Stars. Everyone good?
Yeah.
Oh, good, cool.
A little stoned, but I'm good.
Oh, that's cheers, queers.
No, don't air that.
Yeah, it'll be a mini episode for our Patreons that we don't have.
For OnlyFans.
For our OnlyFans, and it's just Jill. Jill gives us 1 star on OnlyFans.
I love it. It's my favorite OnlyFans. 1 star.
It's so good. 1 star.
1 star.
I love it so much. That's my favorite thing in the world. That's so funny.
And I was like, I don't know what I did.
Because it was such a nice review, and then you gave us 1 star. It's my favorite thing.
What makes it funnier now is that you literally just said, like, I never give anything under 5 stars.
Right, but you guys, it's a 1 star.
This is not a good ride. Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1. So now let's get into the heart of our gay agenda. We are talking about RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 5.
Woo!
We just found out the cast this past Friday, and I know we're all very excited about this. We're avid watchers of RuPaul's Drag Race, and we have a lot of thoughts. So I'm just going to go through who walked into the workroom, and then we'll just start talking about them. How's that?
Perfect.
Definitely.
So first in the workroom, we have Shea Coulee from season 9, our Chicago queen. Glorious. So good to see her. Mm-hmm. Next, we have Ms. Cracker from season 10. Very funny. From season 3 and All Stars 1, we have Alexis Mateo. Bam! Blair St. Clair from season 10. She is Blair St. Clair, and she does declare that she's already there. Mariah Balenciaga comes in from season 3. India Farah also comes in from season 3. Jujubee comes in from season 2 and All Stars 1. Derek Barry then comes... And Drag You. Yes, and Drag You. Derek Barry then comes in. It's Derek, bitch. From season 8. Then Mayhem Miller comes in from season 10. And then Angina comes in from season 1. Woo! So it was kind of fun to see them all walk in. Who were you guys most excited to see?
Definitely the first two, Shay and Miss Cracker. I was super happy to see both of them.
Yes.
Oh,
Sorry.
No, I was gonna say, Joe, go ahead.
No, I was extremely excited to see Soleil Coulee. Look at the edges I snatched today. Shea Coulee. And I just listened to her Category Is verse over and over. But I was extremely excited to see Shay. And when I tell you, I screamed when Angina walked out. I thought my landlord was going to be like, "Are you okay?" Because I seriously screamed. Angina has been someone I've been putting out in the universe to be on All Stars since All Stars 2 aired.
Yeah.
So,
oh God, yeah. And she made she made a cameo in All Stars 1.
yes, she did.
Which was so weird.
I know, it was weird. That was
It was like, just have her on the show.
that whole season was very strange. But
Yeah,
I was extremely excited to see Angina. Very, very excited.
Yeah,
that
redemption
costume, the costume was so beautiful.
Incredible.
Mm-hmm.
It was so intricate, so like unique and interesting. It was like one of the top 3 entrance looks of this recent All Stars 5 cast.
Absolutely.
Like hers, Shea Coulee I loved, and I actually really liked Blair St. Clair's look.
Oh, she looks stunning.
Mm-hmm.
She looks so good. And I don't really like necessarily like the wet hair look on queens,
See,
but
I think it's so sexy.
Like some queens can she can pull it off. Certain queens can pull it off. I could never do it. It would be like it would look like I just came out of the shower.
Right. It's interesting because it's not like a wet. It's like almost like kind of, it's very Slave for You video where it's like kind of oil, like body oil, but it's in your hair.
Kind of like beach wavy, sexy.
Yeah, and I just I love that look. It's so sexy to me.
It looks really good on her. I loved the orange and like the strong shoulders. I was really here for it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, like if anyone like asked me like who looked the prettiest, just face alone, it definitely was Blair. She looked stunning.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you excited for, Kyle?
I'm really excited for Shea Coulee. When I was watching season 9, I feel like my perception was almost skewed because I was going to Sidetrack to watch it all the time in Boys Town. And I feel like when you're like, I love going and watching it at bars because it feels like a good community when you're there. But at the same time, I felt like I missed a lot of what was happening. So by the finale, the girl I was rooting for was actually Peppermint. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. So I've actually had to go back and rewatch a lot of season 9 for me to be like, oh shit, Shea Coulee, she should have won. Not that I dislike Sasha Velour. Like I Sasha Velour, she I was gonna say she relies on looks, beauty be damned, or what is it? Relies on books. What is it?
Yeah, relies on books, beauty be damned.
I know. Yeah. Sasha Velour. No. Sasha Velour relies on brains. Beauty be damned.
Brain. There we go.
The American Songbook collector Jill Konkel.
Yeah. But so watching Shea come in and then also just like following her online presence, and being a Chicago girl, like it makes me excited. It makes me proud. I really want to see her win. I think Chicago deserves for her to win.
I agree. And I the thing with Shea too, and I mean, it's a little early in the episode for me to be dropping a hot take, but looking at all of the girls who came through, I'm going to use a baseball analogy, so it might confuse some people, but it
might go a little over my head.
Yes. Shea is major leagues, and a lot of these other girls are kind of AAA minor leagues. And that's how, just looking, and everyone, you guys know, I'm a hardcore Angina fan, but if Shea doesn't win, I'll be, in the words of Katya, I will be confused.
Yes.
And that quote is from when Detox and Alaska asked her how she would feel if Roxy Andrews won All Stars 2. I would be confused. So I would be confused if Shay doesn't win. I will just be confused.
Yeah, I was gonna say, to be honest, like there's only like 2 other girls that I could think of that could give her a run for her money, but even that, I still feel like it's not gonna be very fair for the rest of the girls because Shay just walked in.
Who do you think? Yeah.
I think Jujubee honestly could give her a run for her money, and I think it's just because she's been through the ringer so many times. Like,
yeah,
it's just like at this point she's kind of like a Shangela, where it's just like she could prepare for years for this, And I also think that Miss Cracker could give her a little bit of run for her money, and it's not because I'm biased for them, but I do think that Miss Cracker did really well in her original season. So giving time away from the show where you can like build your name up and your brand, it just makes you stronger.
Yeah, especially Ms. Cracker, like she was an honorable mention when it came to like looks when she walked in. I thought she looked cute. I definitely think that season 10 Ms. Cracker and the current Ms. Cracker we have now in the universe, she has developed so much, and it was fun to see. Like, I enjoy her more outside of season 10 than I do watching her on TV. Watching her on TV, it was kind of hard to watch because I was like, oh, I like you. Like, why aren't you funny? Because in the outside world, she's funny. She's like stupid. You know what I mean? Like stupid funny. And I love that kind of humor. So, I could see her doing well. I could see Jujubee definitely has stamina. I mean, like she's a favorite. You can tell that like RuPaul likes Jujubee.
Yes, and she's lip synced like 20 times on the show now at this point, so it's like she has practice at this.
Yes, yeah, and that's also. I mean, she's got opinion.
Yeah.
Opinion. I am a little torn about the choice of Jujubee, and also a little torn about the Alexis Mateo choice.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I love both queens. I think they're excellent. Are
they sickening though?
What did Phoebe say about William? Or William? Oh my God, he'd kill me. Willem. It's like sickening unless you mean disgusting. So, I don't know how I feel about queens getting to come back so often, especially Jujubee. Jujubee is interesting because I don't think, for the amount of time she's been on a World of Wonder show, she's definitely not a household name queen. And I mean, she's hilarious, she's beautiful, but I mean, she's kind of had her moment. I mean, she was on her regular season, and then she was on All Stars 1, and then she was on Drag U. I mean, World of Wonder obviously loves her, and for a reason. I mean, Jujubee is great, but I don't really understand her inclusion in here. It's kind of like, you've had this platform, and I'd like to see other girls get this kind of platform and this chance. But I understand that All Stars 1 was a joke.
A shit show.
Exactly. But it still was exposure, and it still is available on Hulu and everything. So it's like you're able to watch that and see what she's all about. And I get it, but I still think that it's a little unfair, if I want to. But in the words of Naomi Smalls, life's not fair.
Life's not fair.
Well, that's how I felt when Latrice and Manila came back last year. That's how I felt too. I was just like, they already had their chance, but I digress.
Yeah. I do think that Jujubee, like, it was funny. So, do you guys know the show Dragnificent?
Yes.
No.
Okay, so it's like a TLC like drag show. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, Jill. Isn't it kind of like a makeover show with drag queens? It's right.
Yes, it's a makeover show for, I believe, regular women that they give them a drag makeover. It's Thorgy, Alexis, I FaceTime View in Tears, Michelle, and who? Mayhem Miller?
It's Bibi Zahara Benet.
Oh, Bibi. Okay.
And then Jujubee.
What face? Oh, Juju's on that too?
And Juju's on it. And the reason I know this is because I was talking to my mom on Mother's Day, and I was like, oh, like, I've been watching RuPaul's Drag Race. Like, we were just, like, swapping shows that we've been watching during quarantine. And she's like, oh, I just watched Dragnificent, because, of course, TLC is, like, the mom channel, you know?
Right.
And she was like, I love them. She goes, that Jujubee. So it's like Jujubee now is, like, a mom favorite.
Which is awesome, because, I mean,
it's kind of fun. Yeah.
That's demographic, and you're going to get work. So that's good.
So I think Juju, like, is she going to win? I don't think so. I don't necessarily want Jujubee to win, but I'm happy she's there because she makes good TV.
She's good TV, and that's why
she's good TV.
World of Wonder loves her so much.
Yeah.
I think obviously there's a reason, but like you said, I'm not rooting against Jujubee to win, but I'm not rooting for her to win.
Right. I see why it's frustrating to see a queen that's gotten a lot of exposure on there. But if it's a queen that's gotten a lot of exposure and makes good TV, I'm like, all right, like, you're not going to win.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, well, this is a hot take for me, and I apologize if I make anyone mad by saying this for any of her fans out there, but I feel like that's how I feel, especially about Alexis Mateo. Like, I respect her as a queen. I think she has
act a fool, girl.
Well, I think she has, like, a lot of a talent and stuff like that, but I've never really been that drawn to her. And so I'm kind of surprised that she was asked back a third time.
See, I am intrigued. I think she was asked back, and maybe this is a hot take, because of the success of Vanessa Vanjie Mateo. Miss Vanjie exploded, and she kept saying, oh, Alexis Mateo is my drag mom. And I feel like RuPaul's Drag Race and World of Wonder, they like to keep everything in the family. So if they're able to kind of do a throwback to someone who's currently huge, I mean, why not?
That.
You know,
I definitely, I could see that.
Because, like, you have kids that may not have seen season 3 or some of the earlier seasons, but, you know, they've been watching since maybe season 9, let's say.
Sure.
And so they know Miss Vanjie. So if they know, like, oh my God, Miss Vanjie's drag mom's going to be on All Stars 5. You know, that might be, like, intrigue. Also, if I give Alexis Mateo anything, the two things that I love is her snatch game as Alicia Keys.
Yeah.
So stupid funny. And I love the, like, her bam with the American flag. Like, literally, I can watch that clip on repeat. It is so funny and so dumb.
There's a lot of iconic moments, and it kind of going back to what you said about how the kids watching today don't know the original seasons. And it kind of frustrates me because I'm kind of annoyed that we have to cater to those people.
Oh, me too.
A couple years ago, I went to DragCon in New York, and I attended a panel it was a fashion panel, and it had BB Zahara Benet, Angina, and Miss Fame. And Mickey Reardon from Paper Magazine was moderating it. It was a great panel, a really cool experience. But I remember Mickey Reardon had asked, it was probably a group of it was over 100 people, probably 150, 200 people, who has seen the first season. And I remember I looked and scanned the room, and maybe a third of the people in the room had seen the first season. And I literally felt like a pit in my stomach, because I'm thinking, I was like, these kids are so into the golden age of drag, but haven't, and I understand that Ru girls aren't the only drag queens. I feel like that's, people be like, I know my drag history, but then only know the Ru girls. So the fact that you're at a drag queen convention that's put on by the same production team that the show you're obsessed with is, and you haven't even watched the complete trailblazing season of this show, which is the first season. And I'm just
Right.
it's like somewhere out there, the legendary drag performer, the Lady Chablis, you know, crushed a shot glass in her hand and ate the shards.
Right. Well, and that's the weird thing about it too, is that like I don't know about you guys, but like when I obsess about a show, like I get all into it. And like why like they're all on Hulu, like you said, Jill. So it's not like they don't have an excuse to go back and watch this.
But but this is kind of recent. I feel like didn't they just put it on Hulu, right? Like within the past month or a couple months rather?
No, it's been like a year at least.
Well, like half a year.
And it was, I mean, obviously this was September 2018 when I was at DragCon, and so obviously it was before, but there's still ways to get the first season. And I understand, but I feel like these kids, it's like, I remember when Hulu first came out, it had like so many back seasons of The Real World, and I just like sat and binged The Real World. And I will. The first season was hard to watch because it looked like it was filmed on a calculator. Like it was very, very grainy. And I was like, what is this show? But I sat and I watched it because it still was very trailblazing. And that was in the early 90s. So I understand the 2009 first season of Drag Race had that weird filter and it's a little hard to watch, but you just should still watch it. And
definitely.
I mean, I watched the show from the beginning. It was just appointment television for my sister and I. And I don't know. I'm glad that I had that experience because it was like, oh wow, like you're really watching something special. And it's I don't know. I just think if these kids need to watch the first season. That's all I have. For coming on.
And that's essay.
In retrospect,
I will.
I totally agree with you. I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't see the first season until it was on Hulu. But I think now that it's more accessible to people, it's totally worth a binge watch. Like you can sit there and is it like over in what, 6 hours, 7 hours?
I was gonna say like, it's super short. There's only like 6 episodes.
Right. It's not long. And you get some of the most like iconic queens. You get Tammy Brown, you get Angina, you get Chanel, you get Bebe, Nina Flowers. Like these are great.
Legendary queens.
Yeah, legendary and just fun. And you can see where the show has progressed and how it's kind of evolved. Mm-hmm. So hopefully, and that might be a reason too why they bring back queens from older seasons. Like, you know, we have Alexis Mateo, we have India Farah, we have Mariah Balenciaga, all from season 3. Mm-hmm. Interesting choice to bring back India Farah. Thoughts? Do you guys have thoughts on that?
See, I'm cool with it because at first I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of weird. But at least it's someone getting exposure. And I think that's the beauty of All Stars. Mm-hmm. Like you said, you can see these people's evolution. It's like right. I haven't followed India Farah since Get Her Off of Me. And
yeah.
I haven't followed her, so I don't know anything about her. And I think it'll be kind of a treat to, I don't know how far she'll go, but at least kind of get to know a queen I haven't seen in years rather than I've seen a lot of Jujubee. She's
sure.
And I agree too, because like, I mean, that's kind of how I fell in love with Tatiana, because I feel like before All Stars 2, people didn't really know much about Tatiana. And then she came back and you got to see how great her drag has grown over the years. So I kind of agree with Jill with that in the sense of like, yeah, like I totally am down to give India Farah a chance. Do I think she'll go far? I doubt it, but
wouldn't it be a gag if she did?
I would scream.
Me too.
Yeah.
Like,
I do like when that happens. Like it was almost a surprise in All Stars 4 when Monique Hart and Monet Exchange, when they did so well, because they had just come off their season, that I was like, oh shit, okay, good for you. Like it was like a nice surprise for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, can I say, this is what, like 5 season 10 girls now that have been on All Stars at this point.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Mayhem Miller signed her name when it was either like a Hey Queen interview or something, but someone had asked her, if you were to go back to All Stars, if you were to be asked back, what would you do to change it? And she's like, oh, I wouldn't care. I would be a bitch. I don't care. And I think that's when the producers were like, we need her back on. Because she'll bring drama. Like I don't think Mayhem Miller cares about winning. It's the exposure. It's
Sure.
getting her name out there. Because season 10, she really didn't, I don't think it showed what she could do.
Well, I always whenever I think of Mayhem Miller, I don't even think of her on the show because that's almost forgettable what she did. I literally think of that drama video that is on YouTube where like her eyes are just like darting across the room.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Like
so
even straight people use that GIF.
Yeah, I was gonna say
We don't even know who she is.
Yeah.
Right.
Because one person sent that to me, and it was a girl I work with, a regular friend of mine, and she DM'd it to me, and I was like, oh, I love Mayhem Miller, and she's like, I love that you know the queen, and I was like, she's name, it's not like what, and so it was a lot of people don't know who she is, but that's the thing too. I don't think Mayhem needs a redemption. I think she was really sweet on the season. I don't know. I really like her.
I think she was really sweet in season 10. I think she's going to come back and be like, you know what? I'm actually that bitch. Like, I'm sweet, but don't fuck with me.
Yeah.
Because I think she does have, like, a don't fuck with me attitude. Like, and not in a bad way. Like, I love that. Like, if you, it's kind of like, don't come for me unless I ask for you.
Right.
Fun for you.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, I was excited to see her bodysuit, her Amazon bodysuit come through the door.
I was going to say, that outfit was a choice, though.
Okay, but I got to say, I loved it, though, because it was like, yeah, we can be shady and be like, oh, my God, it's from Amazon. But joke's on us. She's on TV. She looked good in it. And she even went on social media and was like, yes, I got it from Amazon, and it came in 2 days. What's up?
I was gonna say, I mean, if she's in on the joke, that's great, you know.
Yeah, she's in on the joke. I loved it.
That was the thing she said too. She's like, you know, especially the All-Star, the queens who get on All-Stars, you know, they've been working, and now we're in a golden age of drag where these drag queens are making a lot of money. So one of my favorite things about All-Stars is like everyone just looks so expensive. You know, everyone has their lips done, everyone has their teeth done, like. You can tell that they've definitely
the fillers have settled in.
Yeah, like exactly, like they've gotten the nose tweaked, like they've leveled up. So I love seeing that. But then she mentioned, she was like, you know, these queens on All Stars get red because normal people say we could never afford the custom designer clothes that you're wearing. She's like, but then I get red for wearing a $20 Amazon bodysuit. So like, where is the line? People just complain about anything.
They just want to be haters.
I was gonna say, they'll bitch about anything if they have the opportunity.
Yeah. Oh, they totally will. Josh, when you said when the fillers have settled in, were you talking about Derek Barry when you said fillers?
Shady. Okay.
If I'm gonna be shady about any of these queens, it's gonna be Derek Barry.
No, that's fair.
I love to dislike her. I don't want to say hate because I did see her perform live once as like Britney, and she was phenomenal as Britney.
Where did you see her?
At Roscoe's. It was back during season 8. She was touring, and it was right before, you know, Drag Race went to VH1, so it wasn't as insane to go to drag shows. And the person I was dating at the time, he got really into drag because I introduced him to drag. Just saying. No, but we would go to all the drag shows, and Derek Barry was great. That being said, I love to hate Derek Barry on the show, And even off the show, there's a lot of choices that Derek says and does, especially there's some choices. Have you seen videos of Derek being?
I mean, you might as well just talk about the Stonewall interview.
Well, not even just like the Stonewall interview. I'm thinking of like the Roscoe's live viewing parties where Derek Barry was racially insensitive and did an impression of Plastique Tiara.
Oh,
I didn't know this.
I didn't see that.
Okay, so it was so cringy. So it was obviously last season, season 11, and it was Willem, Derek Barry, and Akiria Davenport.
Okay.
And Akiria was talking about, the judges kept saying like, oh, is this your real voice? Is that your real voice? Blah, 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 to Plastique. And I feel for Plastique because it's like, I don't know, just leave the girl alone. Like, it was just like, what a weird, it's definitely a dialogue that should be had when it comes to like, is this racially insensitive? But at the same time, like, she's Vietnamese. Like,
right.
It's her voice. So Akira was talking about how when she would talk to Plastique, how Plastique would sound versus how Plastique sounds on the main stage and where her real voice is. It's a weird conversation and dialogue to have, and I'm sure that we could have an entire episode on the dichotomy between like trying to blend in for the judges versus like your true self or whatever. But as Akira was talking about this, Derek Barry started doing a pretty insensitive caricature, doing like a stereotypical like Asian voice, asking if you want your nails done.
Oh.
No one saw this?
No.
I don't watch
I feel like fucking Jake Yonsei right now. I feel like I feel like a total slime bag.
I came for Jake Yonsei recently on Twitter, and
yes,
we were fighting with children, and we were literally ganging up on them.
You're gonna get us canceled. No.
All of our opinions were totally correct because they were coming after Shay, and we did not appreciate that. But as we were fighting and sending gifts and stuff, I realized I was like, Kyle and I are both pushing 30. Like, what?
We are both pushing 30. I think it's funny, though, because, okay, here's my thing about Jake Yonsei. And people who aren't listening, Jake Yonsei is a 19-year-old kid from St. Louis, Missouri. He, like, sits in his room and he, like, tries to stir the pot and cause drama. And he's like a drama channel for all the Ru girls on Drag Race. And, I mean, like, right now, the three of us are all talking about, like, RuPaul's Drag Race and drama and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it. Everyone can have a platform. That's fine. His platform, however, has continuously raised questions to young fans and just kind of like stepped away, and he won't take responsibility for it, which has caused a lot of fans to be racist and transphobic. And instead of being like, hey, like he'll always put the disclaimer, do not send hate to anyone in this video. But by doing that, he'll still be like, wow, the Vixen thinks that what was it? It was like the Vixen was making comment on, I forget what it was. It was like a makeup palette. And the Vixen was like, wow, interesting that Beast is like the brown color. And whatever, like Supreme is the white color. Like the Vixen was just like pointing that out. And why not? Because that should be considered. Like if you're naming makeup products, maybe be a little bit more mindful.
But
and
also,
Jake
like,
Yonsei,
what kind of names are those?
Right. And Jake Yonsei like screenshot it, posted it on his thing, and was like, wow, the Vixen thinks, this is racist. What do y'all think? which caused a bunch of people to go to the Vixen and be racist.
The thing is, though, is that sure, Jake Yonsei like has a platform, but those bitches are probably racist and transphobic regardless of him, and all he does is just exasperate it, honestly.
So it's like Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So it's Donald Trump. So Jake Yonsei, I'm going to go on record and say this. Jake Yonsei is the Donald Trump of the Drag Race fandom.
Yeah.
Come to cancel me, Mom.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I feel like, though, the only why I like, well, I don't want to say like, but why I watch some Jake Yonsei videos is just the consolidation of the drama where, like, I don't have to go searching for it. And then because he does the work for me. And I was like, okay, I'll get the lowdown of what's happening with the dolls. And Jake Yonsei will put it into, like, a really makeshift, crappy 7th grade PowerPoint for me. And then I look at, like, his weird Amazon sunglasses. That's not cute. But you know what? Jake does his thing, and he gave us something to do in quarantine for a few minutes.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's just...
You were just filing your nails at that point, like, you're arguing with, like, a 12-year-old.
No, check your lipstick before you come for me.
Yeah.
My life is one big Drag Race quote, and I'm just happy to be where someone recognizes it.
Like, Jill, I'm just imagining, like, you have, like, one of those calendars that has, like, a quote of the day, and each day is just, like, a different Drag Race quote.
That was literally me. I seriously, because they were coming for Shay, and I literally put in quotes, Chicago in the house, girl, what you gonna do?
Yeah.
Well, it was because Shay just straight up wrote #cancel Jake Yonsei on Twitter, which I love.
Me too.
I love that because honestly, it's like,
face crack of the century.
Oh yeah, he was shook. It's just like, I don't know. It's interesting because we're commenting on a TV show, we're commenting on contestants, but that being said, like, I don't dislike any of these people. Like, obviously, Derek Barry, like I said, had some, questionable thing. But, like, I don't care that much,
Well, and, like, that kind of, like, brings back the point of, like, what I was saying, like, with Jill. Like, Jill has, she watches Jake Yonsei, couple videos of that. And even though he's baiting, like, she doesn't take the bait and then go fight with the Vixen. She just watches it,
It's also generation. This drag fandom is crazy.
Oh, they're so insane.
Yeah, they are.
This is what happens when straight people start liking drag. Like, it's just, well, I don't think, I mean, there's a lot of straight girls who like it. I don't want to come after straight people, but it's like,
Jill Yonsei.
Yeah.
Cancel Jill Yonsei.
Like, what is going on? They are so evil.
Well, I think it also, and I mean, I'll go a little bit, like, on an ageist thing. I don't think, obviously, like, all younger people, but I do think that, like, this generation, this, like, Generation Z that is, in their late teens, early 20s, they have grown up literally with phones. So there's this sense of, like, we grew up, like, semi with phones, semi not, like, it's a weird, like, social media, like, we learned it, but we didn't always have it, where they've always had it. So I think it's also jarring for us, and oh my God, I sound so old, but it's like jarring for us to be like, wow, these kids are really coming after people, when that's, like, the norm for them. They're like, I canceled a drag queen. Yeah, I called my teacher a fucking bitch on Zoom. Like, what you're gonna do? Like, it's they're scary. But
well, and the thing is, too, is that I feel like they also have thicker skin, too. So, like, they're so detached from it that they could just, like, fight for days. Where us, we're like, Jesus! Like,
well, I think they're not used to fighting in person. And, like, I don't know about you. Like,
Jill.
No, that's just
like, if I get mean or nasty with a family member or anything, I'll feel bad, like, immediately, and I'm like, damn. But, like, these kids, I don't think they feel bad.
know.
Because they're so used to just sending things out into like the Twitterverse or Instagram or something, and where they never have to see these people's reactions.
Right. I know.
Right. Like it is really. The Drag Race fandom is pretty toxic. I mean, there's going to be toxicity in every area of society, but I don't know. It's pretty twisted. I saw the other day I know I keep bringing up the Vixen, but she posted. I felt so bad for her. So literally, it was Mother's Day, and someone DM'd her. Some guy was like, "So I'm watching season 10, and I'm paraphrasing, but they're like, I'm watching season 10, and you're a complete bitch. You don't do anything. You're the worst drag queen. You should quit." All this nasty stuff. And the Vixen responded and was like, okay, first of all, people grow and they learn. That was 3 years ago. And you're taking time out of your day to message me on Mother's Day, which I'm spending with my mom.
Right.
Like, who are you? And I feel like people forget, like, why it's a TV show. You don't need to send hate. You don't need to, like, really come for people. And I guess to go back to Jill and I being bullies.
That being said, if you come for us,
what we were commenting on the fact that these kids, these like young teenagers, were coming after these drag performers. It's like, leave them alone. Without them, you wouldn't have a TV show to watch or even comment on. So why are you being nasty?
Yeah.
Right. And I think it was Jinx Monsoon who said, they were like, being a fan of Drag Race does not make you an expert in drag. It makes you a TV show.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, these kids, I don't know. I guess that was off topic, but maybe we can segue that back into this, because it's like, yeah, this is the demographic that we're catering to, these little shit stirrers. And that's why we have to these people back who've already been on the show, so that we can teach them about Drag Race, when I'm sure you have Hulu or YouTube or whatever that you can learn about it yourself, and we can give someone else a platform maybe.
Well, that's the thing, too, because there are so many girls who I feel like could be on All Stars that would take one of, like, Jujubee's or Alexis Mateo's places, that I think it would still make a great show, you know?
Oh, for sure. Is there any that come to mind?
Immediately, the two that I always think of, and, like, so to who Angina is to Jill, I am to Jessica Wilde.
Yes, justice for Jessica Wilde.
Yeah, I fucking love Jessica Wilde so much. Ever since the first time I saw season 2 and just her book cover tour.
She's a delicious drink.
Yeah. I love this acai berry.
She's great.
Yeah, her, and then it's funny because I just complained about like how there's already like so many season 10 girls, but I was thinking the other day of how much I actually liked Asia O'Hara when she was on the show, when it was airing.
Yeah, it would. She would be a good queen to see again. Have you guys been watching Celebrity Drag Race?
I have not been.
It's like the first episode I did not like.
The first episode's rough,
right? But then the second episode has Asia O'Hara on and Vanessa Williams, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
And it, like, episode 2, they did a great job. Episode 3, I had a really good time with it too. And yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. So it's, but it's nice to see they brought Asia O'Hara back to do that, but they haven't put her in the All-Stars arena yet. And that could also just be because she doesn't want to. Maybe she's not ready for it.
I was gonna say, because like Kim Chi has openly expressed that she wouldn't do All Stars, but like they'll still invite her back for like other things. So it could be that.
It could be that with these queens, and we were talking about this. I know Trixie. I think Trixie Patel just wanted something for her personal goals of, I want to win All Stars.
Yeah.
Because she even said, she's like, I lost money going on All Stars because I'm a really popular queen. I have, bookings all the time. She's like, I mean, she won $100,000 And she's like, I broke even pretty much.
Yeah.
Because I had still a bunch of gigs. And so I think some of these queens are like, I don't need All-Stars. But I think there are also queens who really do need it. I think some of the people, or one of the girls, not just because it's a hometown girl, but I think Dita Ritz could be on. You know, and that's someone.
Yes.
That's top 5. That's an All-Star. That was she was one of the best on her season, you know, top 5. And I think she could really use the exposure. And I think, you know, she could really turn some looks. And I know that she's expressed that she would want to be on it. So I think kids out there who like to tweet, World of Wonder is looking, and tweet about how you want Dita Ritz on the show.
Right.
Oh, honestly, though, I will say, I mean, World of Wonder, I've heard horror stories, but I won't go into that. But I have noticed that the producers are listening. My hope is eventually we can have trans and AFAB performers on the show. I think that's long overdue. Speaking of trans queens I'd love to see back on the show, I'd love to see Peppermint back.
Me too.
Yeah.
I love Peppermint. Like, I love her as a queen. I love her as a person. I mean, I'd love to see her back on Broadway when it opens again.
Yeah.
You know, I think Peppermint would be great. I also think, like, Trinity K. Bonet. Like,
would be good.
Where has she been? I'd like to see her. Wouldn't mind seeing her.
Did you know that she's given a shout out on Beyonce's Homecoming?
I did know
really?
that.
Yeah. Okay. You did know that, Jill?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So Kyle, there is a moment early on in the concert where Beyonce kind of points out in the crowd, and she's like, "Oh my God, you have on my outfit. How did you do that so quickly?" She's talking to Trinity.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, because Trinity's a Beyonce impersonator, and so she already had the sweatshirt on, and I think she like did her hair very similar to it too, something like that. But she was calling her out, be like, "Oh my God, look at you, girl."
Yeah.
That's wild.
I know. And the thing with Trinity, though, I remember Shea Coulee did something on her Instagram 2 Christmases ago. She did an event at the Lush on Michigan Avenue. Mm-hmm. And Trinity K. Bonet commented on it and was like, "Oh, you know, I really wish I would have taken advantage of like my time on the show and, you know, what could have been," and kind of, and I felt bad. But then I rewatched season 6 and I was like, yeah, you were kind of a downer.
Yeah.
She was a kid. Wasn't she like 21 or 22?
She was super young. That's
she was a baby.
She could really show something new.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Well, that's like, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, I feel like that's where like the definition of all-stars kind of like becomes kind of confusing to me, because like I feel like sometimes it is because the producers just catered to the younger crowd. They're like, "Oh my gosh, like the fan favorites from literally just like a year ago," and stuff like that. But I really do like when I see girls who are given more of like a second chance type of all-star. So if anything, like they should just make All-Star 6, like they should just call it like second chances and just like bring back like obscure random girls that like you would never think, like Phoenix and stuff like that.
Oh, I would love that. I actually
to see like Vivian Panay.
Yeah.
Like, double elimination, of course. Why wouldn't it be?
That was a moment. Oh, and she was so upset.
It's like, that is one of my favorite drag race quotes because it makes no sense.
Right, of course.
Of course. Why wouldn't it be?
There was, again, I'm going to go a little super fan on you, but I was watching another Roscoe's viewing party, and T-Rex brought up a really good idea, and I kind of love this idea. And I can't remember who was like guesting on the viewing party, but she was saying how it would be fun to see like all of the first out queens come back and compete. Mm-hmm. And I forget who, it might have been Alyssa and Trixie were there. I can't remember exactly. But one of them was like, well, if they do that, they should make it like a 2-part special event. And whoever, like, first out queens battle it out, and one will take the title, but they won't win. Instead, they'll get to go back on whatever the next season is and compete.
Okay.
Oh,
I was like, that could be kind of fun. And I was like, give her royalties. I would watch that. How much fun would that be?
But then it's like, if you think about some of the first out queens, I'm like, do I want to see them? Like, I don't know. Like James Mansfield.
I will see her. I've been following her, and I kind of love her YouTube.
Oh, really?
You told me about that.
It's so surprising. I don't think that I think she was very much out of her element on the show. But when she gets on her YouTube, like, she has her like little character going, and honestly, she has done some really cool wigs, and she gives kind of like little tutorials on like, this is how you back comb, this is how you smooth it, oh, this is how you double stack, and she makes it so easy to understand. So like, for me, trying to I guess like get myself into drag and work on wigs and stuff like that, James Mansfield has been like she's been kind of great. So it'd be interesting to see like this new confident like James Mansfield go back. Like Phoenix go back.
Well, Phoenix is actually a second boot. It'd be Venus Delight that you would be wanting.
Oh, that's right. Venus Delight. So it'd be Shangela.
Which is weird, not Shangela. Well, Vanjie,
Vanjie, right? Like these like superstar queens. It's Soju.
Yeah, Soju. Oh my God, I forgot about Soju already.
Yeah, it would be kind of interesting to see Dahlia. Yeah. I mean, there are some queens. Yeah.
So speaking of concepts, I actually have now. This randomly just popped in my head too. Well, how do you think they're going to go about the eliminations this season? Because I heard they're switching it up.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I heard a theory, but I'm trying not to do too many spoilers anymore because it kind of ruins the show for me. So like, I don't read spoilers anymore. I used to read them a lot more like in season 11 when it wasn't that good.
Yeah, that's when there was a point in season 11 where I stopped caring.
Yeah, what was that? I don't know.
I think it's just because I really did not like Silky, and I kind of thought Silky had a chance to win, and I was just like, oh God, I'm over it.
I mean, that's kind of almost how I feel about this. Well, I'm enjoying this season, but personally, I am sick of seeing a predator on my television screen every week.
Yeah.
And I am binge watching To Catch a Predator, and the love of my life, Chris Hansen, is confronting someone and telling them to have a seat.
I mean, honestly, the gag would be when RuPaul is like, okay, redacted pie, step forward. Chris Hansen, come out. He is
redacted
judge today.
What are your plans here tonight?
Yeah. What are your plans? And I get that. I do think that if you take out if you take out the Trevor Project, which has taken home $10,000. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Right.
If you take her out of the equation, if you take that contestant out, the queens up there, I all like them.
Oh, me too.
Me too. Like besides her, they're like that's it's exciting for me because I'm like, honestly, I would be okay with any of them winning.
Me too.
Which is exciting. Like last season, I was like, all right. Okay, like I wanted Evie Oddly to win because she was so weird, but I knew Brooklyn also had a better track record. But Brooklyn's doing fine. She's doing Canada's Drag Race. Did you see the promo?
Yeah.
Yeah, she looks great.
Amazing stuff.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So she's fine.
Yeah. I am also very excited to see who would take the title this year because obviously Sherry's out, so like that doesn't even bother me anymore. So if any of the four won, I'd be like, yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah, I'd be okay with it.
Even Jackie, who's been kind of going on like this like kind of downward spiral, like I've still been a big fan of hers.
Me too.
I mean, and you never know what will happen. Sasha didn't win like anything, and she won the title. Evie Oddly only had one official win, and wasn't it with Scarlet Envy?
Yeah, and it was like this. It was like the first or second episode, and then she like
Right.
never won again.
So you never know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you never know. We just know Allison is not winning. So
Yes.
No,
Thank
she has a lot of bookings lately.
God.
clink clink.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So, to wrap up our discussion on All Stars 5, I know we talked about who our favorites were, but if you could just list your top 3 and then also who you think is going to be first to go, um, we should wrap it up with that real quick.
Okay.
Because they
Um,
need someone to go home first.
right? They need those. So my top 3 personal favorites are Shay, Miss Cracker, and then it kind of goes back and forth because I do really personally love Jujubee, but I think that's just more of like my personal favorite. But I really would love to see Angina make it super far. And then for first out, I wouldn't necessarily be upset if Mariah went home first.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my pick.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jill?
Definitely, as we said, Shea Coulee. I would definitely like to see Mayhem go far. I think she's just really paid her dues, and I think it would be awesome to just see her do her thing. And then of course Angina, because I'm so excited. I know Angina is I know she's wanted to do this for a while, and she gave up drag for a few years, and I don't know, I'm just really happy to see her, and so she goes far. Honestly, I am excited. This is just a side note to see the dynamic between Shay and Derek, because I feel it could almost be another dynamic of Bob and Derek.
Oh, totally.
Or Naomi and Derek.
There's a hem here, there's a hem here. And I do appreciate the delusion of Derek Barry, and I think that's what makes Derek so fun to watch, in general, because you're just looking at someone so delusional. It's definitely the same level as Milk delusion, and someone's delusional and the editors make it so obvious how delusional they are. It's hilarious to me. So I kind of hope Derek goes far enough where I could kind of get a laugh.
Yeah.
But
like it has to go far enough before the joke gets old.
Exactly. So I would love, before the joke kind of jumps the shark, I would love to get a few jokes. Who I think will go home first. Honestly, and this might be a hot take, I don't think Blair is going to go far at all. And
really?
She's stunning, but I'm not the biggest fan of Blair St. Clair. I saw a panel that she was on at DragCon where this is kind of like the weirdest thing, but where she did Nikki Blonsky's makeup.
Well, you can't stop to beat the face. Thank you.
Good morning, DragCon. There's a new girl in town. So so stupid. So I couldn't, because my friend that I was with at DragCon, he did not pick up the pace enough to get into the Trixie and Katya panel. So we were like, okay, what are we going to get into? So we went and we saw Blair do Nikki Blonsky's makeup. And Blair basically had the personality of like a dry piece of white bread. Like, Blair, I'm sure, is a great girl IRL and means well, but she was extremely boring. And I mean, you can be beautiful, but there has to be something to back it up. Even if it's like Valentina, where your personality is you're so delusional and you're just in your head and you're so dramatic. That's what makes Valentina fun. Blair, you're pretty. Like, you're very pretty. You're very nice. And I don't think that's going to make for good TV. And I think that.
What if she comes back and is a bitch?
I mean, low key, that could be fun.
It could be kind of fun, yeah.
But it was like she definitely would be playing that up for the cameras then, because I remember
definitely
seeing that panel, and then I went to another panel. It was a toot and boot with Asia O'Hara and Mayhem Miller, and that was so fun.
Oh, that's fun.
And my friend said to me, he was like, "Okay, these are the personalities of a drag queen. Like they were fun and they were funny and they had that rapport and that they were volleying back and forth. I mean, Blair's very sweet and like she's very talented, very pretty, but it was like I didn't laugh once through that entire thing, and it was just kind of awkward. And funny story, as we were leaving DragCon, I think we were just like going outside of the main place to go like walk around. Nikki Blonsky was trying to get through security. They weren't letting her in. They were like, "You don't have a wristband," and she was like, "But I'm a panelist. Like she's like, I'm Nikki Blonsky," and I was drunk at this point, and I walked by her and I go, "Oh shit, it's Nikki Blonsky," and she goes, "Hi."
They were just like looking at their guest list and they're like, Ginger Minge, you're not set to perform.
Oh my god.
Do you think Blair St. Clair was kind of quiet because she was so nervous to do such a big superstar's makeup?
So shady.
It's all love. It's all love.
The thing was, so Ginger Minge was dressed as Tracy, and I was like, and that day. But then, so it's like you're doing a caricature of this girl's character in Hairspray, not letting her through its
security. They're like, "Ma'am, we're gonna have to ask you to leave."
I think drunk me was like trying to help her because I was like, "Oh, it's Nikki Blonsky." Like I knew who she was, so maybe the security would be like, "Okay, this is like sort of someone with celebrity status." But it was like, how did I get through security and Nikki Blonsky didn't?
I was like, totally threw her a bone there. Just like, oh shit, Nikki Blonsky.
I love the idea of the security guard being like, "No, you're not on the list," and Jill being like, "Excuse me, this is Nikki Blonsky," and they're like, "Oh, we're sorry, Miss Jill Konkel."
They know you by her full name.
They're like, "JMK Skincare? Oh, you're trustworthy. Like you have a booth at DragCon. I could see it."
I'm giving a facial to Nikki Blonsky.
I'm picturing you're giving a facial to Nikki Blonsky. She has cucumbers on her eyes. And the camera cuts to you and Blair just looking at each other like, "Now what the hell are we supposed to do now?"
What the panel was. I don't think Blair knew like what to talk about. It was like, tell a story or something. But Nikki Blonsky, I just remembered this, Kyle, and this might rattle you a little bit.
I love to be rattled.
Told me that not me, or us, the crowd, that her worst on-screen kiss was Zac Efron.
Really?
Well,
because said his girlfriend at the time, Vanessa Ann Hudgens, showed up on set to monitor that entire thing, and she said it was so awkward because Vanessa, who's really into voguing right now,
yes,
she went and
respects the coronavirus.
Yeah, exactly.
She doesn't care if you're voguing and you die from COVID-19.
No, you're gonna die anyway.
Yeah, we're all in this together.
She chaperoned them, so that was
my god!
I thought that was some scalding hot tea.
That's awkward.
It is awkward. I mean, that's been years. So hopefully, I hope my Zac Efron is a good kisser. I'll find out someday because he'll consent to a kiss with me.
Sure. Once the check cashes.
Yeah, once the check cashes, and he'll be like 52 years old, and it'll be at New York's DragCon. Or it'll be like, you know what it'll be? It'll be a Disney Channel, like, throwback, like, convention. And he'll be, like, this old, dusty actor. And they'll be like, remember Zac Efron, who starred in High School Musical? And I'll be the gay in line being like, ooh, yes.
And then years later, when someone asks him who his worst kiss was, he'll be like, "My God, it was Kyle Bachman."
They'll be like, no, he'll say like, "My God, it was Nikki Blonsky," and he'll point to me.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay, Kyle, who's your predictions?
So I'm gonna say Shea Coulee she's in my top. She's my number one. If the producers are smart, she will win. She's close to 1 million followers on Instagram. She was trending on Twitter. Like, she was trending above RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah.
Just the word Shea was trending. She should win. We want her to win. Who do I want to go far? I'd like to see Ms. Cracker go far. I like her online presence. I'd like to see her do well on the show. Kind of loosen up and really give us what I think she can give. And I'm kind of tied with Jujubee and Angina. Jujubee in the sense of, I know I'm going to get good TV. Angina in the sense I want her to do well. I want everyone to fall in love with her and just enjoy someone who hasn't been on the show in a really long time. And I want her to get the screen time that she deserves. Who do I think is going to go home first? It's Mariah Balenciaga really wasn't giving it to me. I could be wrong, but I just was not. I don't know.
So you and I actually have the same predictions then.
Yeah, I think Mariah Balenciaga, but you know what I also think? And I think Derek might go home early.
I hope not.
I hope not for the sake of TV, because I think she'd be fun to watch. But when it comes to competitiveness and how the show works, like I'm thinking outside of any kind of drag right now and more just how the show kind of functions and the narrative that it tries to push. I don't see Derek going far.
Sure.
Enough.
I would love for her to be a shit stir. We talk about, we hate shit stirs. Well, this is reality TV. They're all playing characters. It's fine.
This is where we want shit.
Yeah, give us some drama. Give us some, give us a little bit of tension.
Yeah.
Mayhem may take that though. Like, she seemed like she was coming in. She was ready to bring it. I don't know. It's hard for me to say. I think Mariah might be the only one that I'm like, I could be wrong, but it just doesn't feel. It felt like something was off when she walked in.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that she shouldn't be there. I just was like, and it could also, this is literally a 7-minute video that they had to cut together because we're in quarantine right now. And these poor queens don't get to do promo looks because we're all in quarantine. How much does that suck?
Right.
Now, wouldn't it be a gag if they actually did do promo looks and they're going to release it? I would love that, but I don't know if that's happening because why wouldn't they have already done that?
Yeah,
I was gonna say, I was like, unless they like all send them into a warehouse like one by one.
Right.
Yeah.
In the promo they're doing, they're not great. Like they're not flattering. They're probably just like pictures that a PA took that day.
Yeah.
And they don't do any of the queens justice at all.
No.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bummer, but honestly, it's what we got to do with quarantine right now.
Yeah.
It'll still be fun to watch, I'm sure. Oh, also, this is a major thing. Did you guys hear that they moved it from Showtime back to VH1?
Yes, I did hear that.
Which I'm fine with.
Yeah, I am too. I think it was a smart move. And because I was like, oh crap, Showtime. Like,
well, to be honest, I'm just like, what was the point of moving it to Showtime in the first place?
I think it was like, is it Viacom that owns VH1 and Showtime? I think it was a business, like, oh, let's really make this brand, cross-channel and feed each other. But I think it would have hurt itself if it was put on Showtime, because not everyone has Showtime. Not everyone's going to be paying to be watching that. So I think ratings would hurt. And I think that would suck if I was one of the queens on the season and I was like, oh, you're putting me on Showtime? Why?
Right.
What are you doing? So I'm happy it's still on VH1.
Me too.
Yeah, same.
Well, this is a.
I had a meeting with Viacom, and they always want to put their characters on Conagra brands, and we own Duncan Hines, and I remember on season 4 they always talked about putting the Duncan Hines on their face, like as the makeup, and I don't know why we don't capitalize on that. I don't know why. When I become the brand manager of Duncan Hines, we'll
be having some meetings.
Well, that's how we're going to introduce you. We're like, the brand manager of Duncan Hines, Jill Konkel, is here.
And please sponsor me, Duncan Hines.
So
gets into
Jill,
fights with 12-year-olds.
Right. Jill, any projects you've been working on, or where can we find you? Where can listeners find you?
Well, right now you could find me on JMK Skincare on Instagram. I've just been kind of working on that project of trying to bestow great skin into the world, and I will not stop until that's just it's kind of my own personal blog about what's going on in my life and telling stories about my life combined with the skincare that I recommend. So that's been fun for me. I would love if you guys checked it out. Other than that, I've just been practicing how to DJ. So hopefully once this quarantine is out, I'll be DJing at places. And also just like rattling all this stuff off. And
you got to plug what you're doing.
And
right.
I'm also kind of brainstorming a new YouTube channel because I've bartended with you both, and I really want to I was watching a bartending class on Zoom that somebody for Cinco de Mayo put together for work, and I was like, I loved watching it, but I was like, I could do this. So I'm thinking of, it's kind of a working idea, but I want to do something called Drinks with Jill, and I do videos of how to make cocktails and how to entertain your guests and everything. And
I love that.
That's
because
cute.
My favorite thing to do, you both know, is throw a party. That was what I was put on the
true.
So, and yeah, and just to shout out the people who I know for a fact will be listening to this. My sister, Dr. Joy Konkel, my really great friend, it sounds like Ramona Singer, my really great friend, Dr. Sharon Yeezy.
Oh my God. I love Ramona.
No, my really great friends, Leah Sanders and Esther Hicks and her family. So I want to
thank you for listening.
Yes.
For tuning in.
Well, I want to say thank you to someone I know who's going to be listening, Nikki Blonsky. I just wanted to say we definitely gained a fan in this episode. So everyone retweet, repost a link to this episode, tag Nikki Blonsky. I'm sure there's not a lot of people in her DMs right now, so she'll probably get notified. And I want to get canceled by Nikki Blonsky.
I was like,
can we have her on?
Oh my gosh, if we could have Nikki Blonsky on, I would scream.
She might remember you. She's like, oh my God, you tried to get me into DragCon.
I was trying to do her a solid.
Joe, you were the reason she was at DragCon. Like, her JMK skincare is here.
I promise you a free facial if you come on Fear the Queer, Nikki.
A free facial and a Drinks with Jill panel.
Right.
Oh God,
she'll be invited to.
That would be so fun.
I think it'd be fun. You could do a face mask, and while she's getting a face mask, you do a drink that's based on the face mask.
That would be, I would actually love that.
Yeah, that like you mix the two things. You're like, oh, we're doing skincare, self-help, and we're having a cocktail.
Yeah. I mean, that's two forms of self-care.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that idea. Are there, I hate just talk, even though I'm a Leo, I don't love talking about myself the entire time. Are there any other projects that you guys are working on outside of Fear the Queer?
Um, honestly, I'm not going to answer that question because I totally just remember something, Jill, that last time you were on here, I totally forgot. We talked about America's Next Top Model. And I think it's funny how in quarantine, a lot of people are now writing articles about how problematic America's Next Top Model was during the time frame. And not
Mm-hmm.
a single article mentioned our podcast, which we released months before this bullshit.
Right. We did an entire oral history of America's Next Top Model, and I really don't understand why we haven't gotten any recognition,
Right?
especially BuzzFeed.
You know, I should go on because I have a tendency to on Facebook comment on articles, but as Fear the Queer on accident.
On accident.
on accident. And not get into fights, but it's like Fear the Queer said that this article sucks, so I should do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
it'll be fun.
I like.
You were ahead of the trend. So we'll see what happens with this episode. Maybe people will be like, we're doing drinking skincare.
Has a huge comeback after this episode.
Wait, who does?
Nikki Blonsky, like she just has a huge comeback after this episode gets released.
Gag. Oh my god, I would.
To happen. I mean, this 2020. This is the weirdest stuff that's ever happened in our lives. Nikki Blonsky's gonna become an A-lister.
Well, honestly,
oh my gosh,
Joe Biden.
I just realized a crossover. Nikki Blonsky got into a fight at the airport with Bianca from America's Next Top Model.
That's right. Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
god. That's about Kyle.
I mean, I've heard rumors that Nikki Blonsky likes to fight people.
That is full circle.
That's why Joe and her got along so well. They just attack all the bad people.
What if my best friend was Nikki Blonsky?
That would be fun. I always think it'd be fun to be friends with someone who like had one big moment in their career and then kind of fell off the face of the earth, but people still sort of know who they are. I kind of want that life. Like, I would love that.
Same. Gosh, yeah. I can't.
You're famous enough to be denied into DragCon, but you're not. You're not famous enough to be on. Was she on Dancing with the Stars?
It would make sense. I mean, you're famous enough. You're famous enough to be on a panel, but you're not famous enough to get through security. Like, what?
They heard about the fight with Bianca.
It's true. Or you're famous enough as you're struggling to get through security, someone recognizes you. Yeah.
Hey, there could be 100 people in line at DragCon, and it takes one person to recognize you that you're Nikki Blonsky from Hairspray and that one show about Fat Camp that was on ABC Family.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And that one person just happened to be Jill Konkel.
That one person? That was Jill Konkel.
I'm surprised at DragCon. See, if there was a DragCon Chicago, I think I'd be recognized by someone I knew. But New York, I'm more anonymous. But I'm surprised no one was like, is that girl who fights with people outside of Roscoe's?
Oh my God, could you imagine?
I would die. Because I also fought with someone outside of Roscoe's when they insulted Naomi Smalls. I was so upset.
Well, first of all, who the hell is ever insulting Naomi Smalls?
Josh was with me. He was he picked up one of the face fans that Sidetrack gives out, and he's like, oh, it's Naomi. She's a loser, and I was like, she was still good, and he was like, well, she lost, and I was like, she was still good, and then he's like, yeah, she was.
And then they just like hurried away. I was just like, oh, Jill, yes.
I don't like when people come for the girls I'm really big fans of. They're like all my children. I don't like it. Yeah.
It's like RuPaul's Drag Race queens and Nikki Blonsky should be protected at all costs by Jill Konkel.
They are precious cinnamon rolls.
I am on the front line for them. You know.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, Jill, it's been a great time having you on again.
Yes, thank you for coming on.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I hope I hope you guys don't get canceled by some of my hot takes, but I will take the fall for all. It's will join forces.
Oh, I would love that. Would you know what? Competing podcast.
Oh yeah! Oh my god!
That'd be fun.
If I had a competition podcast with Nikki
Oh, I would love that. Can we just? Okay, I'm gonna really quick before we sign off. I'm gonna go check on her. I want to see where she is on Instagram. Like, how's Nikki Blonsky? Nikki? Well, okay, she's not the first person to come up.
It's funny because our good friend Sean Dolan, deep friend of the pod, I remember once proposed a film idea to me, and it was a spinoff of Whatever Happened at Baby Jane, and it was Whatever Happened to Nikki Blonsky.
Oh, really?
Yes, and I thought that was hilarious.
Oh my God.
I found out what happened to Nikki Blonsky. Like, I personally found out what was happening. And
Did you pitch it back to Sean? Like, that's like, here's a big update for your story.
Let's see. Oh, she's a Scorpio. That makes sense. Sorry. Oh, Instagram. Here she is. Oh, wow. Okay, so she has around 38,000 followers on Instagram.
That's it?
And she posts yeah, that's kind of weird. She posts a lot of screenshots. She posted a picture of a chair.
If we contacted her, she would probably respond.
Probably.
Honestly.
If we tagged her.
Well, have her not listen to this episode. Like, honestly, like, hot take. Like, I do like Nikki Blonsky. I'm unabashedly a huge Hairspray fan. So.
And I think Nikki is a huge Drag Race fan. Here she's with Miss Kasha Davis.
Jill, you and I are looking at these same, like, the 4 pictures.
Yeah.
We're looking at the same thing. Oh, and she even has a picture of Brita Filter. Well,
here's one with Tammy Brown. Tammy Brown and Morgan McMichaels.
Huh. Well, maybe she is more famous than we realized.
She's a friend of drag.
She's a friend of drag. She's drag adjacent.
Yes, exactly.
She's drag.
Oh, you can book her on Cameo.
Josh, here's something for you, Josh. She has a picture with Jessica Wilde.
Oh, yes. Oh, okay. Thanks, Nikki. I love this.
And
oh my gosh, she's only $30 for a cameo.
Good to know. That's actually really good to know. Oh my gosh, should we have her do a commercial for Fear the Queer?
I was gonna say, like,
just thinking that.
I was like, we need to plug her into this promo somehow. We'll get on this.
Here.
I'm kind of obsessed.
Cut this part out so that it doesn't seem like we're talking about it. But we should really do a promotion cameo of Nikki Blonsky saying, "Listen to Fear the Queer."
I kind of love that.
I was like, if we could, I totally would.
Do you want it? Like, we can each put in like $10.
Yeah, we just split it.
And I think that's a brilliant idea.
Let's do it. Do it. I'm obsessed.
Oh my god, I love this idea.
Like, is she promoting like this episode, or is she
be like, "Welcome back, Fear the Queer"? You can tell her what to say. Tell her to say like, "Just want to give a welcome back to Fear the Queer. Make sure to listen to this week's episode all about All Stars 5, and like have our names." And like, I'm sure she'll do it.
Oh my god. Well, are we releasing this tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we can. Yeah, maybe she'll do a quick turnaround.
Who knows?
Do you think she's even doing anything right now?
I was like, Jill, if you message her, let us know what she says.
On Instagram or on Cameo?
Either one. Like.
Here. Well, we're going to have her do a cameo. Typically responds in 8 hours.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. I'm obsessed. I'm kind of scared because we were kind of shit talking her.
We weren't though.
No one said
I called her
bad.
Ginger Minge.
Oh, it was because
that I don't know if she would appreciate.
We have to cut this whole conversation out. But
oh yeah, definitely.
That we're discussing right now. I'm just giving prompts so that if Josh is listening, he can hear me say, like, cut this out.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I doubt Nikki's going to actually listen to the episode. I think we're just going to be like, hey, like, Nikki, can you promote my podcast? Just say, like, Fear the Queer, blah, 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 and listen to it. And we don't have to say you're mentioned in it.
No, I was going to say, like, I bet you anything, like, she won't even listen. She'll just be like, oh, cool, $30. Like,
exactly. I love this.
I'm sort of obsessed. This could be if she turns around, but what if she doesn't turn around in time?
I honestly think she will. Typically responds in 8 hours. I have never seen that. I've always seen, like, typically responds in a couple of days. She must do it, like, immediately.
From her bedroom.
I was going to say, because no offense, like, who's going to be asking for her?
Yeah. Well, she has 644 reviews. So she's, I mean, that's
Are they good reviews?
Yeah, 4.9 stars. That's good. I mean, that's
good.
Really good money. If she's doing all of that, let me look.
Should we have her sing something?
Good morning. That's almost $20,000 just on Cameo.
That's good.
So yeah, we could say.
What I kind of like the Good Morning Fear the Queer.
Oh my God.
Would that be funny?
Yeah, it'd be hilarious.
And just be like, hey everyone, hey everyone, tune in to listen to Josh, Jill, and Kyle talk about RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 5. Big fan of the show, or what, it could be just like fun and stupid.
I'm a deep friend of the pod.
Yeah, friend of the pod. Oh my God.
I will.
We're gonna get canceled by Nikki Blonsky. And I'm so upset because I actually like her, but I just was being a bitch.
I don't think we're being mean to Nikki Blonsky. I just had a podcast with her.
I was just saying, yeah, I think we're just like kikiing with her.
Yeah, we're just, we're giving her more airtime than she's had in a long time, I feel like.
Yes.
Keep that part in, Josh.
Who wants to write the script, and then whoever does it, we can just Venmo?
Why don't you do it, Jill? Because you're already there.
Yeah.
All right. So, but we'll do it on. Okay. We'll do it on. We'll write the script together, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did I say 2 fans Fear the Queer? From Fear the Queer to fans, friends of the podcast?
To, like listeners of the podcast.
Okay.
Or fans of the pod. Do whatever you want.
Fans of the podcast. Mm-hmm. What's the occasion? Other. Okay. Can you please sing Good Morning Fear the Queer?
In the tune of Good Morning Baltimore. Hopefully she gets that.
I only have 250 characters, so we gotta, okay.
Okay.
Fear the Queer. And tell everyone to listen to the new, can you tell everyone Fear the Queer is back?
Mm-hmm.
And tell everyone Fear the Queer is back, and to listen to the new episode where Kyle, Josh, and Jill discuss episode where I think I have some characters so I could add some stuff. Episode where Kyle, Josh, and Jill discuss RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 5.
Yeah, right. Could you have it say newest episode?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Newest episode. And then, okay, can you please sing Good Morning Fear the Queer in the tune of Good Morning Baltimore? I have some extra characters.
Okay.
Okay.
Fear the Queer.
I have 20 more characters. Can you please sing Good Morning Fear the Queer in the tune of Good Morning Baltimore and tell everyone Fear the Queer is back, and to listen to the newest episode where Kyle, Josh, and Jill discuss RuPaul's Drag Race All-Star 5?
Maybe say like
Could you have her? I was gonna say, could you ask her to end with cheers, queers?
Yeah, I was gonna say like check out the pod, cheers queers, or like listen to the podcast with everything on the gay agendas, but that might be too many characters.
Yeah.
So I think like yeah, just have her end it with like cheers queers.
Okay, I gotta delete 9 characters. Can you please sing? Okay, let me make please PLZ. And then okay, I need to take out 6 more characters. Good morning, Baltimore. And I could just put in ampersand for and. Grace back. Okay. Kyle, Josh, and Jill. Okay. All right. So now I'm at 249. Can you please sing Good Morning Through the Queer in the tune of Good Morning Baltimore and tell everyone Fear the Queer is back and to listen to the newest episode where Kyle, Josh, and Jill discuss RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 5. Please end with cheers, queers.
I like it.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay. All right, let me read it one more time. Can you please sing Good Morning and the Good Morning Baltimore and tell everyone Fear the Queer is back and to listen to the newest episode where Kyle, Josh, and Jill discuss RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 5. Please end with cheers, queers.
Sounds good to me.
I'll put an exclamation point after queers.
Okay.
Okay. God damn it. Okay. All right. Let me make sure.
Oh, hey guys.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. AJ has to get going to bed soon, and I'm in the bedroom right now. Would we have enough time to just do the finale really quick?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean he has to get up early for work.
No, it's fine. Jill, we'll Venmo you the money, and then
Okay.
just keep us in the loop for when she sends it, and hopefully she'll send it before we plan to release it, or we'll just release it after she sends it.
I was gonna say I'll try to release it around like 4 tomorrow at the latest,
Okay.
And then hopefully she'll get back to us by then.
Definitely. Okay, cool.
Okay.
So how are we signing off, or where do you want us to start for?
That's super easy. I'll just like segue it back in.
Yeah,
here.
go for it.
Okay.
And I'll make sure I'm Kyle. You'll start with I'm Kyle. I'll do second. I'm Josh, and then Jill. You do and I'm Jill.
Is it gonna come up though? Do we need to add? I don't remember where we were in the conversation.
Well, we could we'll say we'll just be like
easy to transition to because I know how to get around that easily now. If I can edit around Mike Burton, like I can do it.
That's true.
Fair
All
enough.
right, so I'll start.
I'll start because I remember like how to get back into it.
Okay.
Yeah, that was good. Okay, so anyway, sorry to cut this, but it's been really good talking to you guys.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening.
Yes, and we'll make sure to be doing these a lot more during the quarantine, so that way everyone can listen. So, yes, and as always, I'm Josh.
And I'm Kyle.
And I'm Jill.
And we're
Fear the Queer.
Bye.
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 So long, farewell.
Well, that was thank you. 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 Well, that was